Oh, yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Noble back again from the Noble Paradigm. As you guys know, CEO and owner of the Noble Paradigm. What I'm going to be doing every Sunday, again, I am a relationship strategist. I help high achieving women manifest and maintain healthy long term relationships without sacrificing their ambition. I do that work with my wife and our app, the Noble Paradigm app, that's available on iPhones and on Androids right now. And on Sundays, we like to have these calls where we, invite people into the community. One of the offers that I do for my services is I offer an emotional support service. Basically, where I try to stand as a masculine container, somebody who's done some cultivation work on himself, done a lot of studying, knows I'm not perfect, and I'm striving every day to do the best I can with everything I got. To try to help some women and help some people is part of my life's work and what my wife and I do. And today we got a special guest on. Let's see who we got here with us. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, V, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Less black and highly favored. Living the dream. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here with me today. I really appreciate you being willing to come on here and share your story and share your journey with everyone. I really appreciate the time that you and the respect of you being willing to do that with me.
Absolutely. No problem.
Yeah, so we used to coach together, or I would coach with you maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, I believe it
Yep.
was.
Yep.
Um, at the time, I know you had some things going on in your dating life. You were doing pretty well, I believe. I think we talked about some of my philosophy of the chosen woman in
Hmm.
terms of like different women leading their relationships and how they can do that and still feel feminine within the leadership role, still feel soft, cared for, nurtured, protected, provided for, all of that.
Hmm.
Where are you at now? What's going on in your life?
I feel like I'm in like a holding pattern. So I'm like no relationships, no connections, no. I haven't dated anyone for about 2 years. No sexual intimacy, no anything. So I'm
Mm,
not pursued by anyone. I'm not communicating with anyone on a regular basis, and um so yes, I would like to change that. I'm looking forward to changing that.
okay. And so it's been about 2 years, you say, since it's been like nothing, just
Nothing. No dates, no sex, no nothing.
right. Nobody's asked you out, like no
No,
interest.
I went on a date, I want to say with a former somebody that I was dating before. Like we just went out. He came into town and we went out, but it wasn't
Mm. More
like
like
any
a catch up kind of conversation,
yeah,
more so.
no future planning. It was just like
Mm,
we saw
okay.
each other and then that was it.
Okay. You're saying now you're thinking about changing that or changing that pattern up.
Right. Trying to figure out what is happening for me that's stopping me from connecting with other people.
Okay. Why do you feel like you went to that cocoon in the first place? After I would imagine you would notice after maybe 3, 6 months that you're kind of in this phase.
Hmm.
You know why you went into it?
I think just doing some healing work, trying to work on myself and do some of the stuff that I needed to do for myself and catering to my family. I have two grandchildren.
Mm,
So I've been focused more internal than external.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I haven't proactively been like trying to date other people either.
Right. Do you feel like you accomplished what you need to accomplish in that time span? Like the purpose of this cocoon period was achieved?
I think so. I think so. I think I've made some leeway with myself and with my family, and I feel like I'm in a good point in my life where I would like to move forward.
Mm, okay. Nice. And what does moving forward look like for you? What is like if you were to close your eyes, wave the magic wand, and have the path set before you that you would want? Any idea what that would be?
With a partner.
Yeah, partner, uncouple, yeah. Because I mean, you're talking about trying to bring
Yeah.
some people into the space,
Yeah.
into your space now. So yeah.
Um, so I guess finding someone that we have similar goals, like I'm into astrology, so not a super religious person. I would
Hmm.
like someone who is open, somebody who's comfortable with themselves, somebody who is financially established. They don't have to be rich, but they
Hmm.
have to have something going on with themselves and they have to have a vision for their life, and it would have to at least run side by side with the vision that I have for my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a therapist, I'm a life coach, into like herbs and healing myself and working out and the holistic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm sorry, I didn't really. I think I skipped the whole beat because
yeah,
could you like introduce yourself to everybody?
yeah.
I was like, hey, B, what's up? Like,
Right. Yeah. So
like,
I'm Keisha Robinson. I'm a native of Pittsburgh, but I live in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. And I've been a therapist since about 2017. I'm kind of segued into life coaching, doing some coaching. I do use astrology and some astrological readings in my practice. I'm currently working for Alloy Wellness, and I work for an agency out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I serve children and families and couples.
okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very so it's fair to say you've been pretty career focused, like you're on your stuff, you're doing well within your chosen profession.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
Like very well.
Nice. I love it. So, and you're thinking about wanting to be coupled. Are you talking about like a friend with benefits? You want a boyfriend? You want a husband? You want a living partner? What do you think would be good for you right now?
I don't know if a living partner is like in the cards, but I would like a partner, somebody who we have common goals, we can see each other. It doesn't even have to be a person who is in the same state. It could be out of a long distance relationship. I fly to see him, he flies to see me, or, somebody who I don't need somebody who's going to, who I need to be around every single day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm open to it, but it's not like, I don't feel like that it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm a person that needs a lot more freedom than most.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of mental health work, so I feel like I need a lot of alone time,
Okay.
a lot of time to decompress, a lot of time to like get my work off of me in some ways.
Okay. What's your you said mentioned astrology. What's your signs? Sun, moon.
I'm a Aquarius sun, Gemini moon, Gemini rising. I got Mercury in Pisces.
Okay.
Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Sagittarius.
Okay. Got it. I know enough to know what that means. To know what all that means,
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of air and a lot of masculine energy. So my heart is more masculine focused.
Yeah, you be fluttering around a little bit.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yes.
Strong flutter.
So I feel like, and I'm so serious, I can be externally serious until you get to know me. And I feel like that can be off-putting to people. Like you have to be a very secure person to approach me or to start a conversation, and you got to be able to hold a conversation.
Yeah, I tend to in my personal dating life, I tend to attract a lot of Aquariuses, and I'm familiar with my wife is an Aquarius,
Yeah.
And
you're a Sag, right? You got a Sag, but you're not Scorpio, Venus Scorpio, right?
Yes, Sag, Venus Scorpio, Pisces moon, and a Gemini rising.
Okay, and I know Pacha, she got Aquarius sun, Scorpio moon, Taurus rising, right?
Yes.
See, I love astrology, so, and I've done a lot of trainings. I've done a lot of trainings with her as well. So we've been in the moon group for years.
Yes. That's a great group. If anybody doesn't know, you want to do some real deep feminine, self-centered, self-focused healing work, that's where you want to go right there.
Yeah. And I think it'll be starting back up in a few months. I think they took it down for a while, but it'll be starting back up in a few months.
Yeah, I'm not at liberty to say because it ain't on my business, but I just when it started out, I'm gonna point people over there. That's
right.
Stay out of it.
Yes.
All right. So like a strong flutter, Aquarius. Not really somebody every day. Are you comfortable saying how old you are?
I'll be 52 in 3 weeks.
Okay, because you look younger than me. Like I feel like I'm older than you. When I've been looking at you sometimes.
Yes, I'll be 52, and and I'm settled in who I am. I'm open to another person's perspective and what they have to offer and what they have to bring, and I'm open to the parts because I don't know myself in relationship to that person until I'm in relationship to that person. So I'm open to that process of figuring out who I am in relationship to that person.
Got you. How do you feel about men in your age range? Like, how do we feel about men in your generation? Because
They're like they're like dinosaurs.
are you Gen X or
What's after baby boomer?
After?
Yeah, what's after baby boomer?
Like, it's Gen X.
Then I'm Gen X. I think I'm Gen X. 1973.
I think so. Yeah. Because I'm technically kind of a millennial, and then there's Gen X before. Gen X is before me.
Yeah, so I'm Gen X.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, and men in that generation, it's hard, man. Y'all grew up different. When I was coming up, the VCRs were coming out. Computers were coming out to where everybody could get one. Technology, like cell phones were happening, but like people are the generation before me, Gen X's, when they were in their formative years, like they was out there in the wilderness. There was nothing. You know what I'm saying? There was no access to information. Like that. So they think a little bit differently when it comes to accessible information to help with their personal development, because personal development wasn't really a thing when they were coming up.
Right. And I think that also they come from a generation of providers and protectors only.
Yeah.
So there's no emotional bandwidth or any emotional maturity or any I don't know how to put this, but any focus on dealing with your emotions or dealing with your trauma or expressing yourself emotionally. Men from that generation, if you're emotional, then you're considered feminine or gay. And, so it's just like trying to get a person from my generation to express themselves and to be open and to be willing to talk about tough things and kind of work through that has been a
challenge.
Yes, I have not been successful.
Yeah, I can understand and relate, because even with my generation, like with my mom, she was just kind of taught and raised in a certain way in terms of how she has to handle emotions and whatnot. Funny story. I'm gonna tell this. I haven't said this on anybody yet, but I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So my son, we didn't cut his hair until he was like 13 months or something like that, right? He had this big fro. He was just out of it, right? And I kept saying, I'm going to cut his hair. I'm going to cut his hair. And I kept putting it off because I was working, I was stressed, and blah, blah, blah. So finally, my wife just cuts his hair one day. I'm pissed. I am so mad. Like, why did you cut this boy's hair? I wasn't here for it. His haircut, I'm just irrationally mad.
And this is your first child too, though. So
yes.
Yeah, correct.
So I'm all upset, right? Anyway, Patch and I, we go through our thing. I take a little break. My mama calls, and she could hear my voice. She's like, well, what's wrong? I was like, I'm just a little upset. I'm a little upset because Patrick chose his hair without me being in the room. And you know what mama said?
What she said?
My mama laughed and said, so?
Yep. What sign is your mom? What sign is she? What sign is your mom?
I'm off to Cancer.
Oh, so
she's a hard Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Her life experiences left her a certain way because of stuff she went through in West Virginia, growing up in the 60s. She had to do certain things. She can't walk around sensitive all the time. A Cancer sensitive, she can't do that. She won't be able to move. So even for me, I feel like I've done a lot of work with trying to communicate and do all of that self-work and emotional work, but it's not easy from the masculine frame because everything tells you it's a weakness rather than a strength. Even the women in our life, have told us like that's a weakness because it makes them scared. When you kind of think back, what are some things that you think that you attempted to do to try to make your partner or a person you're talking to feel emotionally safe with you?
Just listening. I feel like just listening and being curious. So I feel like when I'm curious, I'm not judging. So if I'm just curious with what's going on with him, I'm not projecting things onto him. So I
Right.
think being more curious, just trying to listen and let him express in ways that feel right for him,
Hmm.
regardless of whether or not I felt like those were things there were things that he needed to change. I would just let him, just show up as himself.
Right.
And if he wanted input, I would ask him like, okay, like, so do you want me to listen, or you want my input?
Hmm. Right. Okay.
And and sometimes when I offer input, I feel like it's not the input that they're ready for,
Mm. Right.
because it's
Right.
coming from a different lens. I have a different set of skills that most humans don't have. So
Right.
I feel like it's not what they really expected, because I'm not like everyone else that they've dated. And I'm an Aquarius too. So I'm kind of weird and unique, and I approach life in a different way.
Yeah. I could imagine it from what little I know about you, and
Mhm.
I would imagine it kind of comes off very solution oriented in
Mm,
your
yeah,
approach.
yeah, probably solution oriented and just open. It's like it's not what society says that how you need to be.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna circle back to that in a second.
Okay.
Um, so I kind of want to know, like, for me, when I talk about my parents, grandparents, and our like genetics and our different generations, I feel like at the end of your generation, specifically with mine, we
Mhm.
started kind of moving from survival-based relationships
Mhm.
into a new paradigm of why we can get it together and what it is
Mhm.
that we're doing, right? I would call it what we're doing now is more purpose-driven relationships, which would be
Mhm.
the most cultivated form.
Yes.
We
Yes.
both have, and that's why I do my whole chosen woman system, where I have like modern or traditional relationships, and I
Mhm.
help women to see which side they wanted to go with that. When you think about your life now, where you're at with children and your career and everything, like what would you say is your purpose in life for this stage of your life now?
Well, I mean, just to grow and evolve and build.
How? Like what? In what way? Like what is it that you want to build? Like for example, when I was getting married, I filled in my purpose out to all the potential women I had dating at the time and whatnot.
Mhm.
I said my purpose in life is to help women relationally as a
Mhm.
relationship love coach,
Mhm.
to be a part of the Black independent comic book movement, to help inspire other young Black creators and young Black people to see the Black comic characters out, and to have children to propagate my legacy because that's where I'm at now. I didn't have any children. That was part of what I wanted to do on the planet. So
Yeah.
anybody that I was going to be with was going to have to be okay with these.
Mhm.
This is the work that I'm doing. This is the purpose I'm on. The mission I'm
Yeah.
on. Right. So for you, what would that be?
I would say to help, mostly women and teenagers, help them to regain their power.
Hmm.
Um, Also, I would like to help we're going through a large collective shift as well.
Yeah, I feel it, man.
So
I was talking about some stuff yesterday. Just the whole TikTok thing alone is like, yo, this thing is diabolical.
so, so me, I'm the person to help, push that forward, help the collective move forward in the way that all the planets are shifting into this new age of Aquarius, where
Hmm.
it's gonna be community based and not individual based, and helping people form their communities and forming my own community. I would like to eventually get a wellness center where somebody can come there to attend to their entire self. So there will be astrology, psychics, tarot,
Hmm.
the moon work, all the gamut, yoga, a gym, Pilates, whatever, just an entire wellness center. So if I could that if somebody's connected to that type of lifestyle, I would like to build with someone in that realm.
Okay, nice. Ideally, what do you think would be more supportive to you? Would it be somebody who is kind of working parallel on like their own mission outside of the wellness center that's kind of like in conjunction with something that you do, or somebody who is kind of like more directly supporting you with certain aspects of the purpose that you're in?
I would say a little bit of both. Like somebody who's already has something established and will be open enough to kind of build something with us together moving forward. I'm not saying he can't have his own stuff, and I may be doing some of my own stuff on the side, but also wanting to come together and collaborate and build something together moving forward.
Okay. So something within the same sphere of influence, though, like
Mhm.
somebody doing around the same kind of work.
Yes, yes, wellness work, holistic work,
Mhm.
like healing themselves with her herbs and that kind of lifestyle.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Do you know any men or many men who are in that sphere of influence as of right now? Like, have you met a lot?
I know a lot of men who's into holistic care and taking care of themselves and into astrology and following the moon and
Hmm.
so yeah.
Have you researched those guys? Like, do you know what type of stuff they're like, what they're into, like what they're? How do you feel about them as a whole? Like, 'cause I have heard some things about in any industry. Some it's not all the guys are always straight up or whatnot, but
Mhm.
um, I don't think that's the norm. I think there's more
Yeah,
good than bad.
yeah, yeah. I don't feel like it's the norm either, and I feel like I'm looking for a really unique individual. And even like he doesn't have to be already come in the form as long as he's open and flexible. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not looking for somebody to come already made and you know what I mean? It's like I feel like there's gonna be some work that we need to do together
Hmm.
in
And
order to to that next level.
so, are you looking for like kind of like a primary type of partner, or could this be like a poly kind of more consistent than others kind of
It
thing?
could be poly open, I'm not I don't know if traditional relation relating will work at this stage in my life. For me, I don't know if I need a traditional relationship. Um, if the person was, I don't need to be I don't think I'll need additional partners, but if that person wants to, because like I said, I require a lot of space, I require a lot of independence,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I would be fine if he needed
Hmm.
support outside of our relationship.
Okay. All right. Hmm. What do you think was with the men that you were dating? Let's go back, to before your break.
Mhm.
What was going on with them? Like, what were you finding with the men that you were attracting? Like, what was the quality of men that you were attracting? Like, how did you feel about
So, I moved down south. So, the Southern men, you grew up in church, spiritual foundation, providers, great earners, but like very emotionally, like struggling in that emotional sense where they were trying to figure out how to navigate, the relationship realm and express themselves emotionally. So a lot of mommy issues. Either they had struggles with their moms or their mother had passed away prematurely. Um, so a lot of that and needing a lot of them needed nurturing and
it?
like in a motherly kind of way.
Right. Do you feel like how do you feel about that? Like that?
I mean, I feel like it's okay for a while, but it's just like, yes, there's only but so much support that I can give you without you supporting yourself and trying to
Mm-hmm.
work through some of that. So it's just like they're looking for the support from me, more like a mother figure and not like, okay, this is something we can figure out together. And then there's work that I need to figure out on my own.
Right, right. That concept of the mirror work kind of gets
Yes.
lost. The personal
Yes.
responsibility, looking at
Yes.
my stuff like that.
Yes. And it's just like he was expecting stuff from me. And it's just like I'm trying to empower him. And it
Mm,
just like he came to be like one of my clients.
mm. Does that happen a lot?
I don't think so, but I think that guys automatically think that because I possess a certain skill level that I'm trying to perform therapy on them because I have communication skills.
Mm,
I'm emotionally intelligent, so I probably use words that they don't use on a day-to-day basis.
yeah.
So it's like they feel like if I'm talking in this way or expressing emotion to them in that way, then I'm trying to therapize them in some way.
Therapists.
Yes, yes. Like I'm not one of your clients. I'm like, I don't think you're one of my clients. I wouldn't work for free. So,
Facts. So,
so
do you think that do you get to really ever really get to express your emotions to the men that you're with? Like, or do you feel like it's safe to do that, or do you feel like you be more controlled?
I do, and I feel like they don't know what to do with them. It's just like, okay, because like the one guy, the one who I would used to talk to you about, I'm not gonna mention his name. Um, he used to be like, he used to want me to get mad at him and like cuss him out and go all crazy, where I'm just trying to have an intelligent conversation. He's like, you would tell me off so bad. He was like, I would, he's like, I didn't know what to do with it. It's like, because I'm used to getting cussed out, and you would just express you would just express yourself, but he was just like, damn, like he's like, I felt worse, like, like he did, like he needed to do something.
Come up all these points and facts and
right. And he was just like, damn, like she got a good argument. He's like, he never used to have anything to say. Like he didn't have a rebuttal because he was used to just arguing and not necessarily communicating.
Yeah, right. I get it. I think it's rough when you're a certain level of emotional maturity, as a woman, especially, in your generation, any generation really, because it's just not something that men are really taught,
Right.
like, and our natural way of being anyway is to learn through experience. And if we don't have a initiation set up to where we can have these type of experiences cultivated for us to gear us in a certain direction, it just becomes really tough for some men to up-level their consciousness in a way that benefit the collective.
Right. So I feel like number one, that would be that what you just said would be my struggle.
Finding a guy in that realm.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an age range you want to date in? Would you be comfortable going younger, older?
I could be 38 to like 55.
Okay. All right. And you haven't done, this decision, like, to kind of start to open yourself up, is this like a new thing? Like, within how long has it been since you were like, you know what? I think I want to open myself like that.
Well, my one friend, she does tarot, so I always get readings from her, and she keeps telling me that I'm going to be dating, like, she feels like Capricorn energy, and she said he's going to be really young though. She was like, and she felt like I seemed real closed off from it because my daughter's 33 and my son's 26, so me dating a 30.
In my head, I was like, he's gonna be 35.
right. So yeah, and I'm 52, so that's, so it's just like that feels cringy to me. You know what I mean?
A little.
So working through some of that, like we talked a couple times after that, and just like, the person that you want isn't going to be in your generation. And that conversations about, we did research on like men in my generation and what their expectations are, and what, not to say that there aren't any open guys in my generation, it's just like far and few and in between.
So, and I think unfortunately for them, they're all victims of their time period.
Yes.
Once I realized once I put that on my dad and kind of saw my dad, it's like, oh, he's a victim of his time period. He didn't have this, he had that. I was like, I understood him so much better.
Yeah.
And I loved him a lot more, and I saw myself in him more.
Yes.
I think that for you, because you would fall into the category of what I would consider, the chosen woman, right? Like most men, I would imagine, tend to come after you and see you before you even notice them.
Maybe. I feel like this guy will have to crack open, because my friends tell me like, he was flirting with you. And I would be like, was he? Because like, it has to be overt. You can't be like, touching, like, you got to tell me. So
if a man is having a conversation with you, I would assume that he's like, just assume he's flirting with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't mean anything. He may not get your number. It may not be anything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean there's a lot of intention behind it. Just maybe he's interested. And, like, he thinks you're attractive. He's like, okay, I mean, have a nice day or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just kind of assume, go from that angle, I would think. And then, like, just kind of be open to signs. Because men want to know.
They're not going to be rejected.
Well, I think you're all kind of like bred to accept rejection, to know that's a part of it. Like,
I don't know.
I think, most of us like, I know for me, it was always like you just have to know what it is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I've been kind of trained to know like when there's choosing signals also. Like, most women tend to kind of show me that they're interested in some kind of way, just for
Mhm.
me showing up, you know.
Mhm.
I just think, you be open. Like, I mean, you get, I bet you get further with a lot, I would imagine.
Mhm.
What do your friends say? What do your people say?
I mean, before, but like recently, not in the past year.
Okay. Mm. But you
I'm
work
just
for you.
tumbleweeds.
She said tumbleweeds.
Yeah, like even on social media, you would think people like it's social media. It's supposed to be social. Like I don't
Hmm.
even really hit on social media. Like people like comment on my pictures, but that's about it. Like I don't get nobody jumping in my DM
Hmm.
because
Okay.
I feel like that would be safer than in person, right?
Mm, not really, because like
Okay.
you don't really know if she's even gonna see it. Like, it's kind of like a blind. In a way, yes, but in a way, no.
Okay. Okay.
In a way, yes. In a way, no.
So neither no jumping in the DM and no at the grocery store double takes or nothing. Like
Hmm.
if I ain't gonna know where I'm at the grocery store, I'm at Target. I don't. I mean, I'm
When was the
52.
last time you went outside with the intention of magnetizing something towards you, positive?
No,
Not
in my life.
intention. Never in your life.
No, because it always just came. I never had to. I never had to intentionally do it.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe that's the missing piece is the intention. Now that like I'm in a period in my life where I'm open to dating,
Right.
go out with a little bit of cleavage or something and some,
Mhm.
smelling good and
Yeah.
but I feel like that's me every day. Like I always smell good. Like I feel like I dress very pretty nice. I
Mhm.
keep myself together. So it's not
Mhm.
like I'm going outside in a bonnet and slippers and you know what I mean? I always look
Right.
always people always tell me that always smell good.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but that intention piece is
Yeah.
um
Because I just think is that for you it will probably just come down just to the intention and observation and of the actual process of wanting it. Because I'm sure it's probably there more often than you probably think. It's just that hasn't been your focus.
right.
It's it's just you had a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I have the same thing. I remember as a poly before I was married and whatnot, just as a poly man,
Yeah.
there would be valleys, ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? But like you would know when there would be opportunities, kind of floating around to maybe say something to this person, say something to that person, hit somebody up.
Mhm.
Um, and your energy was kind of more, even though I was doing what I was doing, I had my work, I had my stuff. Like my energy was like very open and receptive to being chosen or finding other people.
Mhm.
And I think that energy shift for you, really just having conversations about it, talking about the things that you would like, that's
Right.
going to start to open you up. You
Right.
know,
And I
to,
journal about it, like, what the qualities I want in a guy. Like I want honesty and transparency and somebody who is open, even family oriented, like somebody who is close to their family in some ways. Like I'm
mhm,
close to my children and my grandchildren. So
yeah, yeah. I really feel like the guy's going to be like 35. I really do. Like I have something in my spirit is telling me it's going to be like somebody around that age. And
okay.
I think we need to deal with like maybe the cringiness of it. Like, what do you think about that? Is it just the fact your daughter is so close in that age,
Yes.
or
Yes. Yes. Because it's for like I'm dating one of my kids' friends. Like they look to me um as a senior, like as a maybe like a matriarch. So it's
Mhm.
just like
Well, let me say this: is like that may be true, right?
yeah.
But that doesn't sound too dissimilar from how the men in your generation end up viewing you when you see them. That for what you said.
Correct, correct. You know what I mean? So
What?
right. So
So,
it's cringy. That's like another layer of cringe. Like I don't want to be
well,
somebody.
I think that if it's something that is continually showing up for you in different tiers of your life and different tiers
Yeah,
of your relationships with men, it's probably not something that you can run away from.
yeah. It's something that it's a mirror. So it's just like it's
Yeah,
something that I've kind of worked out.
right.
Have to work within
So
myself.
Right. So being with someone a little younger, I'm not saying you have to, it's your decision, of course. I'm not trying
Mhm.
to say you do this or that.
Yeah.
But if we're open to it, I think that you would find somebody younger being a little bit more willing to learn in a particular way that you would want to instruct,
Mhm.
and that could lend itself to a higher level of cooperation for you and the work that you're doing if
Mhm.
that person is in with it, right?
Mhm.
Is able to buy in. Like if you're able to tell this person 35 to 40 or whatever,
Mhm.
exactly,
40 sound way better than 35.
okay, we'll go with 40. We'll go with 40. All right.
40 get me tingling. Like, okay, 40, I could do it 40. 35 is giving incest. It's giving like child predator.
Okay, we're going to hang on to 40.
Okay.
You know,
35, I'll keep 35 somewhere in the
yeah,
peripheral,
we'll leave the door flat for that just
Yes,
in case something great pops through. But,
yes.
we're going to go aim for 40, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, this 40-year-old guy,
Yeah.
like, I think that if you're able to, again, because he's going to be choosing you again, and you're going to be, because you're a purpose-driven, mission-led woman who are trying to have a wellness center to where you can help people elevate their consciousness.
Mhm.
Who do you want to help you? Men, women, what age groups?
So mostly, I mean, it could be entire families, but mostly women and teens, women and teenagers, like to help them like access their power, know that they have power, because a lot of kids don't realize that they actually have power.
So we're talking about like 15 to 19
Yes.
year old young ladies
Yep.
who you
Yep.
primarily want to help. Okay.
Yep.
So if you can find somebody and you could tell them the things you want to do with that dynamic, that demographic rather, what you're trying to acquire in terms of like the resources, the place, the wellness center, and you can give this 40-year-old man a position in your life where they really know how they can pour into you and what it is that you would want that's going to help you to feel fulfilled, and
Mhm.
what ways and positions would you want him to show up in your life that's going to make you that's going to activate you for him. I
Yeah.
think you'll find that it'll be easier to manage that relationship with them, and to where you can do this kind of mothering type of aspect of stuff without it feeling like a weight or cringy or something that's just laborious that you just don't want to do. Like you're not having to drag, but it
Yeah.
makes you a willing participant. Type of thing.
Yes.
That makes
Yes.
sense.
Yep.
Um, if you had to picture what type of energy you would want in a man in your purpose, what do you think it would be? Like for me, for example, when I was going to get married,
Mhm.
um, I knew I wanted a queen fairy,
Mhm.
right? You
Mhm.
know what that means, right? So you know the archetypes from which I've spoken of from the Progressive Love Academy, their Wheel
Mhm.
of Archetypes, whatnot.
Yeah.
So I wanted somebody who was primarily showing up in their devotee, their queen energy with me,
Mhm.
and with the purpose and with the work that we're trying to do. And I wanted them to use the tactics of a fairy slash visionary, where they are helping me with certain strategies of how I can execute the objectives that I have for my business. I knew that that was the side that I personally was the weakest on.
Mhm.
I was a newer entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So you can look at your landscape of your relations and how you want to be in relations. Where would you say you were the weakest that a man can plug in to be a benefit to
Um, I'm probably weakest in structure and discipline. That's why a Capricorn would be,
you? Hmm.
because I'll start something, but then it's just like, it's like it gets shaky once I'm in there. You know what I mean? It's like, so if I can get somebody, like my ex was his personal trainer. So I
Hmm.
was in my best shape when I was in relationship with him, because I was eating healthy, we were working out. You know what I mean? I was consistent. My structure, my discipline was on because I
Yep.
was connected to him.
Got it. So somebody that could help if you have the objective of a center, per se,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
somebody that could help you create create and also keep and maintain a structure that will help get you toward that goal.
Yes.
Somebody to help keep you on it, keep you
Yes.
focused on what this is. Like you
Yes.
said, you
Feed
had to
me.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Feed
Okay.
me.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you pretty much that pretty much entails like informs yourself of what it is you're looking for within a potential partner,
Mm-hmm.
right? What it
Yeah.
is when you're being open, that's what you're open to,
Yes. Yes.
essentially.
And like some physical attributes wouldn't be, he's tall. Like 6, because I'm 5'10". I'm pretty tall. I'm like 5'10". I'm
Uh,
175 pounds.
uh-huh.
So I'm
So
not a
you need,
small girl.
right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you want somebody at least
6 foot. Give me 6 foot.
at the middle.
At the bare minimum, like you know what I mean. So I
Okay.
get 5'7", and
Uh, Now, does he have to? I know he doesn't have to be. You don't want somebody rich, but how established within his chosen career would you think he would need to be able to be an assistant to you?
I mean that's not, I mean I don't know if I really have a dollar amount, but it's just like so much so that he's not worried about what I'm doing, like what my money's looking like. You know what I mean?
Like he just pay his own rent, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, he can take care of himself.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. That's good. That's good. So, and what about ambition level? Do you feel like you need somebody who's also like as ambitious as you, or
I need somebody ambitious, passionate. Yeah, because I mean, there's times where I'm ambitious, and there's times where I just want to relax and I'll stay in the bed all day.
mm,
You know what I mean? So just even some balance. So he could be ambitious. Yeah, I feel like that'll be motivating to me if he's ambitious.
okay, all right. What does a healthy ambition look like to you? What I've noticed with once again my chosen one philosophy, I break men down into two categories.
Okay.
There's kings and then there's
Mm-hmm.
knights.
Mm.
Kings are men again who are ones who are primarily the most ambitious, right? And they have the mission that the woman is pouring into, right? A knight is more so he's ambitious, but his main passion is what he's dedicated himself to,
Mm-hmm.
right? The banner that he's choosing to fight for. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Mm-hmm.
most
So
important.
can knights be converted into kings? Like, is he just forever a knight?
He'll be king in certain areas of your life.
So I
You
need a
know,
knight that's probably be king in certain areas.
yeah, because everybody, in order for you, that's part of another program I'm going to do at some point. I
Mm-hmm.
have the service on my app called the Unlock Your Divine Ability program, where I go through all the different archetypes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
The next stage of that is a program going to be doing called Cultivate Your Divine Ability.
Mm-hmm.
And within that, I kind of tell people, like, for example, if you want to be a king or a leader, per se, right? In order for you to fully cultivate the archetype within yourself, you have to really work with the knight or the devotee type of archetype, because
Mm-hmm.
that's really what helps balance it all
Yes.
out. Because you
Yes.
can't be, if you're a leader in every single aspect of your life, you
Yeah.
retire,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You
right?
can't. Yeah, it's impossible.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. If you are, just a knight in every single aspect of your relationships, the relationship life, you're
Mm-hmm.
you're pretty much a child at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
just there being taken care of. So you got to be able to take on certain responsibilities. And what you wouldn't want to know is, okay, if he's going to primarily be a knight for me, right? In terms of how he's functioning and showing up, what
Mm-hmm.
aspects of my life do I want to be able to give dominion to another person? For
Mm-hmm.
example, like he could be leading you with your schedule. He could be leading you with your nutrition. You know what I'm saying? He could be leading you with your um, intake forms, or how to market yourself, or how to put
Yeah.
up your own YouTube. What's certain things
Yes.
like
Yes. Yes. All of that. All of that.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, excuse me. I think it would be kind of good to like write some of that stuff down
Yeah.
in terms of like the journaling and stuff that you do.
I
Because
do. And I was doing it for a long period of time and then I just let it go. So I'm gonna put a note in my phone real quick.
okay, so there we go.
I'll put 35 as age just because that was dropped in your spirit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry it wasn't 40. I apologize.
That's okay.
That was the number. That's what it was. Like a very mature 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Strong.
Strong. Oh, okay. Strong back. All right. You deserve it.
So I'm joking. But yeah, strong. Yeah. So yeah. So all right, I'm gonna start writing down some of that stuff. So
Um, how are things when it comes to like your professional life right now? How are you? Where are you when it comes to living in your purpose with the coaching and helping women? Like, how do you feel about
I feel great. I feel like I'm in my purpose. I'm working in my purpose.
that? Okay. Nice. Um, have you ever imagined what it would be like to be living in that with, before this conversation, what it would be like living in that in harmony with a partner? Like what it looks like having them with you?
Yeah. Like yeah, going out, getting up in the morning, going to the gym together, walking or doing some yoga together. He go to his meetings, I'll do my sessions and stuff. We have lunch together or we may FaceTime during lunch, and I could be in the same house or and not in the same house.
Would you
But
prefer? You sure you wouldn't prefer somebody local? Because I know you said long. It doesn't really matter, but
it would be fine. I mean, like I'm open to either or.
okay, all right. What's the dating scene like in Charlotte? Have you been out? Well, I mean, I haven't really been out, but like, have you like talked to people? Like, you know anybody like kind of floating around Charlotte?
I've dated in Charlotte and it's got pee in it.
Okay.
So it'd probably be a transplant, somebody coming from somewhere else if I meet them in Charlotte.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I think you feel pretty resolute. Like, I feel like, do you feel clearer on what it is that you're wanting now than you did before we started talking?
Yeah, because especially when you talk about the night, like the night and king situation, like what type of person I'm looking for and the intentionality of it. So am I being intentional when I'm going out? Yes, I look nice. I smell good, but is that my intention? Like, oh, I would like to meet someone today.
Mm-hmm.
Put that energy out there. You like in my journal, because in the morning I'll get up, you do my meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more self-focused than I am partnership focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right. And one thing that I try to advocate for, even though you may be what I consider a chosen woman,
mhm,
and you may find yourself being more in the lead in your relationships in certain aspects, I
mhm.
still want you to live in and feel safe in your feminine energy and not have to do everything from a masculine presence, right?
Yeah.
So I think that men should still, even though you are chosen, men should still pursue, you know.
Yeah. I would
Um,
like a man to pursue.
right, even if that means that, they see you first or you see them first, a man
Mhm,
still should, want to put himself on your calendar, to want to
mhm,
be in your, and all that. So I think it's good to maintain that, but it's also good to understand what it is you're vetting. When I
mhm.
talked about the knight and the king aspect, and you talked about can a knight turn into a king? Like,
Mhm.
you have any feelings around that concept of kings and knights? Do you have anything that feels kind of off to you? Any resistance?
No resistance around just being a king. Like it's just like, a king feels overpowering in some ways.
Like like having the king or
Having a king would be overpowering.
mm, okay,
You know what
right,
I mean? It's just like feeling like I feel like I would be forced into his world.
yes.
It's like I already had that. I didn't had a couple kings, so it's like I know. So that felt that I felt that when you said it, like it was just like it's his
Okay.
world
Nice.
that
And
I'm.
so does a knight feel better about that
Yes.
form of masculinity that could,
Mhm.
protect, provide for you, but is still dedicated to your mission and helping you achieve your
Yes.
goals?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because the whole point of me coming up with those monikers for the masculine and all that stuff is really just to help subvert people's cognitive dissonance. Because I find that a lot of Black women, they say that, oh, I want this like alpha type man and all that stuff. And whether you're a king or a knight, both of
Mhm.
those are alpha men,
Yeah.
right? they're both showing up. They're both taking care of you. They're both protecting, providing. It's just that there's a different level. Like if you're just focused on protecting and providing, you don't necessarily have to lead.
Yeah.
Protecting and providing, right? But if you're leading, you do have to protect and provide. It's a whole different scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, that was clear.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, I was trying to make sure of that because I know that trips a lot of people up. A lot of women will go through and just kind of skip over really good men who will actually plug in with them really well, but then they're looking at them like they want a certain type of, king energy when that they don't even realize, like you just said, a king energy might be a little overwhelming for where I'm at right now.
Yes. Yeah. And I know that about myself.
You notice it, yeah. So that's another big thing. I feel like a lot of women don't really a lot of people in general don't take the time to really, really know themselves before they get into a relationship. And that's like a really big thing. Like you have to. That's why I waited until 39 before I had my first kid. So like I was like, I need to make sure this is right. Yeah. I'm still messed up.
There's no perfection. We feel like we're going to have it perfected by that age. No. It's just like there's no perfection when it comes to children.
No, there is not. And I wouldn't trade anything. I did some things that I thought were the right call. They weren't catastrophic, but like they didn't pan out 100% the way I thought they would. It just didn't happen that way. And
flow. Some of it's flow. You got to stay open to the process.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm really happy with how everything is transpired and where we're at. And it's crazy seeing them grow up. Like it's so like it happens so fast. You got your kids are grown, but oh man, that 2. He's about to be 2. He started his little tantrums and stuff. So it's been.
My granddaughter used to fling herself back like, wow. She said, what is that? I got a Taurus. My one granddaughter's a Taurus, and my other granddaughter's a Capricorn. And they will just like control. It's like I'm not getting my way. It's just like they got to learn how to regulate themselves. That's
my son's May 3rd. So
the Taurus. Yep.
Yeah, and there was a few good times. He just like went back, banged his head. Like, hey,
but they stop. But they go now. When they have to their head a couple times, they don't go back with such velocity.
He be doing nice, real controlled,
real gentle.
Lay down. Yeah. Oh man, this has been great. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? I need some glare from this window. One second.
That's okay.
And it's still there. That's just the sun. I look right. Okay.
You got an aura around you.
I do. So this has been great. Like, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to go over? Anything you feel confused about? Anything else that could be supportive to you in any area of your life?
No, this was good. It gave me some clarity on my end on where I may have gaps in the process of pursuing someone or finding someone. So just that intention piece was big for me, and the king and knight piece was good.
Nice. Okay. Good. Well, I'm happy I was able to help with that. Because my whole thing, I try not to overstep when I'm touching or trying to help women, because I really love and care about women, and I'll try to make sure that I am clear that the type of advice I give is from a very relationship strategist. I'm taking all these ethereal things that exist in the world, and I'm coming up with a very grounded, practical, measurable approach to everything. I'm trying to really help you have a strategy or tactics to help achieve what you want, to where you can actually see the progression of everything going. And to be able to do that in a way where you can have a structure to maintain what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. That's really like the whole purpose for, these calls and what I'm going to be doing for people, and for anybody who does do my, emotional support services and whatnot. So I really appreciate you, coming on and giving me, a chance to demonstrate that and show it to the people and whatnot. Absolutely. And I'm happy I was able to help a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've helped me in the past, so I trust in you, so I know that you have it. So
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
absolutely.
I'm going to start doing these live on Sundays. Actually, I'm going to record. Pretty good. We already got everything wrapped up. Thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate y'all. Peace. Catch you next time. Next Sunday.